The whole valley instantly turned into beast attack as the five-bladed sword stabbed the red snake in half, and the noise was so loud it almost made Llewellyn laugh. Llewellyn looked around, thinking, "What's this?" As clear skies turned dark, winds joining in the chaos. How did it go from a smooth ride to torrential rain? There's a saying that cremating in the rain in Korea is super unlucky, like handing the spirits up. So Old Jin suggested sending the coffin to the morgue and waiting for a sunny day to throw a cremation party. The employer, while dying to go ahead, didn't want to stir the pot for Grandpa, so he obediently followed Old Jin's advice. He used connections to find a private hospital, slipped the director cash, and rolled the coffin into the morgue. But as soon as the director learned the coffin was still sealed, his mind went to mischief, and he decided to sneak a peek when everyone went to grab a bite. He managed to pry it open a crack, but Llewellyn and his junior returned early, and seeing this scene, they rushed to stop it too late. Grandpa's spirit burst out like a cheat code from the coffin, making Llewellyn faint right on the spot, sending a "please excuse me" vibe to anyone walking in. The moment the door was opened, a piercing chill rushed into the room, followed immediately by the sounds of voracious eating emanating from the dining table, and with the cold air striking, Llewellyn couldn't help but feel a chilling shiver run down his spine. Before the grandson knew what hit him, Grandpa pulled a fast one for a father-son fusion, reaching for his chest and achieving a heartbreak mission. Meanwhile, the daughter-in-law was dancing along to the TV, unaware that Grandpa's surprise appearance turned her into the sacrifice on stage. Llewellyn woke up from his faint, realizing it was just a nosebleed, and figured Grandpa was surely going to cause chaos for the descendants, so he sent Old Jin to watch over the employer. He dragged the reincarnation master and his junior to the morgue, giving the junior a pine branch as a spirit magnet. Once Grandpa went out for a party, the reincarnation master would reel him back in. With everything ready, Llewellyn began banging drums and singing. Shortly, the pine branch fell, signaling Grandpa's successful invitation. He wasn't brave enough to come over. How could he just stroll in casually? The junior gagged, signaling Llewellyn's plan failed. Meanwhile, Old Jin found the manager to open the door. Upon witnessing the employer downing water in huge gulps like a fish and hearing him repeatedly saying a line in Japanese, Old Jin suddenly realized that Grandpa had actually tracked him down here. With this unique sound, the young employer suddenly met his end. Things spiraled out of control, leaving Old Jin flustered. He swiftly arranged for the master to take the coffin to the cremation site while the butler contacted the parents in the US. But they were dealt with by Grandpa. The butler couldn't reach him. Luckily, the aunt was still around. Upon learning her father was gone, the aunt felt mixed emotions as the coffin in Korea began to burn. The situation at home seemed to energize Grandpa, who developed a severe case of obsessive tendencies. His performances became more frequent, even the small animals in the room sensed the worry. Old Jin thought things would come to an end, but little did he know he was actually playing with an endless magic box. That evening, the woodcutter began to feel unwell, and upon returning home, to his utmost surprise, found himself crying tears of blood. Experienced, Old Jin deduced the snake was the Aussie granny, causing serious illness to those who saw it. Old Jin seeks the dead snake, hoping Llewellyn's spell can save the woodcutter. But just as he got up, he felt something jab into the wood. Digging through the dirt, he found a coffin. Old Jin had seen various coffin-bearing styles, but a coffin shelved in vertically was a first for him. So he quickly called for help, and as they dug halfway through, they found the top surrounded by iron spikes. Was it to keep people from opening it from the outside, or preventing things from getting out? Either way, they kept digging. Finally, they unearthed the coffin 3 meters long. Despite the eerie aura and danger, there was no time for anything else. Old Jin suggested moving the coffin down the mountain, and they found an abandoned temple nearby to crash for a bit. The temple keeper allowed stashing the coffin in storage. To be safe, Llewellyn surrounded it with sticky rice. Old Jin sprinkled some magical powder on the sticky rice, making it sound like a food version of a cleansing ritual. When the stubborn aunt came over, she was just as clueless about why her father's coffin had tipped over. Finally, when Old Jin asked, the aunt pulled out a group photo, revealing that her dad's wood supplier was nicknamed Fox. Hearing this, Old Jin recalled what the old master had said before passing: the fox severed the tiger's waist. What on earth did that? The aunt stated that this was all she knew and repeatedly urged Old Jin to get rid of that coffin before leaving. After that, the aunt settled the payment, and everyone banished the flower snake. As daylight broke, they sent the coffin for cremation. At dinner, Old Jin overheard the temple keeper mentioning, long ago, a gang of bandits lived here, trying to snag the treasures from a nameless tomb up the mountain, but ended up getting captured. The bandits' loot still sat in the temple, and that nameless tomb was downright creepy. But Old Jin didn't want to deal with all that drama. He just wanted to get rid of the coffin ASAP. Yet, after sleeping, the junior dreamt of the temple keeper pressing down, murmuring about a monster digging out his insides. Realizing sleep paralysis, he jotted a spell to break free and checked the temple keeper. But he found the temple keeper missing from his bed, sensing something was off, so he woke up Hewlin, who was napping in the car. Together, they headed to check the coffin, feeling like some danger was already queuing up to greet them.